Hello, hi, I'm Patricia McNeely. I am an illumined Blu-ray twin flame from Chicago, Illinois. How are you? I hope you're doing well today. And I want to ask a few questions. Do you feel as though you're on a twin flame journey? Are you feeling that maybe you're not quite sure, or maybe you're not sure anymore? Are you feeling like things are kind of elusive for you? You're not quite able to grasp things. There's things going on. You're not really sure. You're getting mixed signals. And are there other things happening for you? Are you having recurring dreams? Is there a change in the quality of your nighttime? Are you getting woken up frequently? Are there physical things happening for you where suddenly it feels like somehow something's happening, but you're not quite sure what it is? And if you're feeling some of these things, more than likely it does have to do with being on a twin flame journey, even if there are medical reasons for it. And I do always recommend that people get their medical checkups. So welcome to my next video, which is I'm calling The Drift, When Your Life Grinds to a Halt. That's another thing to ask. Are you feeling like your life is grinding to a halt and you're not quite sure why? Or you feel like you have the golden touch and suddenly nothing is happening. You can't get a deal going. You cannot get ahead. It feels like something happened. Someone pushed the pause button, but they pushed it on your life. What's going on? Are you feeling the drift? Okay. Now, a couple of things to know about this energy. We are still in a retrograde. What that means is, and this is actually a term from astronomy, but it's also used in astrology, but it is an energetic occurrence. And we are in a Uranus retrograde right now. This Uranus retrograde is pulling out some deep stuff. What the retrograde energy tends to do is push things back. So maybe you could take a second look. You can review things. Maybe you can review it without fear. And even better, begin to take some actions. Now, some people might feel that they're very much an old hand at this, and they got this, and that's fine. But this message may not be for you. This message is for people who are feeling the drift. You're feeling some changes. You're not sure why. You're wondering why some things seem to repeat, and it's the very definition of insanity. Doing the same things and not bringing better or different results. You're bringing the same results. And there's other things that go with this too. This energy is to finish all lingering, unfinished business, both inside and outside of your union. A lot of it will have to do with sex, money, and power. Now, some of this you can see the example of it publicly. And it's important that while you might become aware of what's happening out there, that you really focus upon yourself and your own true love. Now, some of you might say, I'm not really sure who that is. I thought I knew who it was, but I'm not sure anymore. And that is one of the things that I help people with, is their discernment. How do you deepen your discernment, and how do you get yourself to the point where you're so absolutely sure you don't even second guess yourself anymore? And that happens a lot. A lot of people do second guess themselves. They feel something, or suddenly they're not sure, or the conditions are wrong, or the lingering ego mind is still kicking in. Now, some people are making decisions where you're putting yourself on the third part of the third wave of the third wave. And that has to do with the type of angelics that you might be. It has even more so to do with the depth of experiences throughout your history, sometimes without each other and sometimes with each other. So all outside things will shut down in favor of the inside. It's now time where the charity begins at home, quite literally. If you're giving, you're outputting, you're doing, and you're overextending, you're going to be overextending, both of you. But it will be felt now. It's not going to be like it was in the past where you could chalk it up to something else and just say, maybe it was something I ate, or maybe this is happening, or doing the blame game between you and your twin. Because a lot of this hasn't, always been something that they're doing. Your twin's life is shutting down and you have to help them. Another thing to ask, here's another question. Can you feel your twin? If you cannot feel your twin, don't assume with your mind. Don't go looking in the wrong places. A lot of you have heard that song. Looking for love in all the wrong places. There's a lot of good country western songs that talk about the disparities of love lost and the unrequited love and all of that. And a lot of people like to wallow in that. Don't wallow in it. Don't go swimming. Don't be an Olympic swimmer in the misery. Don't. There are ways. I have some of the ways. In fact, I have many of the ways for your light body. Because while you and your twin are the same, the body is new. And having a new body means new things, new ways. And a lot of people like to say, this is a marathon. It's actually not a marathon, it's your brand new life. Your brand new life occurred when you met each other and you activated. Once you start activating, and I'll tell you how you know that also. You have a couple who've met each other and they love each other deeply, but somehow what starts coming up once they felt the love was that they weren't able to hold that when they went their separate ways. That's number one. Number two, all of a sudden, where did the memories go? The things start fading. Things are fading, and he's busy. He's got to work, and she's got to do things too. And pretty soon they've let other things distract them. But what begins to happen is that for each of these people, if another person comes along, it feels different. It feels very different. Now that's another way that you know that you're on a twin flame journey. Because if another person comes along, that person is going to quite literally sandpaper them. Okay? Do you have people around you that just annoy you, irritate you, you don't want to be touched by them, and they're just sandpapering you? And maybe they're a fine grit, or maybe they're a really rough, like, oh my goodness, you don't even know. They might look good on the outside, but somehow their energy is just annoying, irritating, skeevy. You don't want to be touched by them. And you cry about it. And a lot of people do, and they say, I don't want anybody. But what's going on? And where did your stuff go? Who took your stuff? What is he up to? What is she up to? What is she up to? What can she possibly be up to? What is he up to? I just know that, I don't know, I'm feeling things. I'm feeling things too. And yet their heads can't connect. Their egos are insufficient to hold the level of love that they are. And you see, I'm going to make a little confession here. I never played with Barbies as a child. But they're coming in handy for some of these demonstrations. So, when you can't feel your twin, what are we talking about? Feelings. What are we talking about? The senses. The senses. Okay? All of the unfinished business. having to do with some of this stuff. Some people can't sense what they should do for a living. And I'm going to inform everyone and open everyone's eyes. Doing the mission is putting yourself into oneness. The mission isn't dropping your twin like he's a hot potato because there's too much stuff there. You just don't know what to do. But you don't just drop love. Because guess what happens? You drop too. You drop and then you wonder what happened to your life. Why the drift? Why the drift? Why do friends drift away from me? I used to have so many other guys to hang with. We would play games. I used to gamble, and we'd have poker night. And I love model railroad trains. And this is just, I don't know what's happening to my life. And the twin is expressing similar things. Now, the key difference between a lot of the masculine and the feminine is that the feminine's been at this a while longer. She's a bit tired, but the masculine is equally tired in different ways. Equally tired of it, tired of getting kicked in the teeth every time he tries to get ahead, tired of feeling the power plays from other men or other masculines. He too would like to be the divine masculine. She would like to be the divine feminine. It doesn't matter what your dynamic is. If you're two males, if you're male-female, if you are female-females together, or trans, trans or intersex. Intersex are people that have other chromosomes that show and display the outer genitalia. They were born that way. Yes, they were quite literally born that way. But how do you do this? Because talking about it doesn't really get you too far. And how do you do other things? Okay, how are you going to create your life? How are you going to create the calling of your heart? Because if the first mission is putting yourself back into a state of oneness, then what are you going to do? Because I have news for everyone. The world is going to continue. You're needed. The light is needed in everywhere. You're a light worker wherever you go. You're a light worker if you're doing the real estate in certain ways. You're a light worker if you're a plumber and you have that elemental connection where you can just go to the problem and people think you're a miracle worker. And you all know people like that. You know angels like that. And you say, oh my goodness, this person was an angel. He went right to the source of the problem, fixed it, no fal-de-ral, no games, no head games, no cross cells, no any of this. He knew what to do. Or she, okay? And you're having her interior design that people walk in and say, it's evocative of a beautiful villa. And how did she get these inspirations? And furthermore, how did she infuse this feeling into a place that essentially was four walls? How do we do that? First of all, twin flames are angels. Are you an angel? Yes, you are, actually. And this retrograde is to finish all of the unfinished business inside of you, outside of you. And yes, things will come to a halt. Things will come to a halt. Or they will feel like they're grinding down, like someone's putting the brakes on your life. Like, okay, you might not have a crash. Some people crash. Some people crash. Okay, this is energy too that affects your mental capacity. How are you going to get the upgrades in place so that you can continue to thrive? Because yes, they really do love each other. So, I have several things coming up here. I have a live webinar this Thursday morning. It's Thursday morning in Chicago, 8 a.m. It is the afternoon in Europe. And also Friday night, 7 p.m. Chicago time. That is usually good for the West Coast. Australia, it's the next morning. It's your Saturday morning. Or New Zealand, or India, or It could be Japan. That is a good time for people in that area. Africa, South America, and other parts of Asia. I am doing an in-person body work channel opening. Open the channels of your body, breath work and body work, which will include other work such as working with essential oils on your key marma points that you share with your twin. That is this coming up weekend here in Chicago at my studio, November 18th and the 19th. It is an all-day class each day. It's not a class on each day. It's you either pick Saturday or you pick Sunday, and by the end of the day, you will have primed yourself open and you'll know what to do with your key marma points. If you would like to get a webinar that is very helpful for this patch of time that you're going into here, November into December, try the one that I call the Sensual Lover. In here, for those of you who have questions about the electric and the magnetic, I talk about electric and magnetic in there. I talk about quite a few things. It was one of my longer webinars. And to give you an idea, sometimes people who are overly electric, and they can verge into some of those negative aspects of electric, very demanding, and they meet their twin and they think in the head that maybe he's weak or a pushover or something like that. And they don't always understand what it is. And they could even be very strident about certain things. And yet, they're looking for the biggest, baddest masculine to just throw them down and ease all of that stuff off. But guess what? With this retrograde energy, that's not going to happen. Those kind of power plays are not the way. And not only will she not be able to get away with some of this stuff because it just won't work anymore. It won't work. This is sometimes the reason that you, with the stuff that have accumulated, could be rubbing your own twin the wrong way. How do you get the burrs off? How do you get some of this stuff away? What are you putting your shields up against? Okay, and some people don't know about their shields. Okay, some people do. This is the stuff that I talk about and walk you through in my live webinar series, in any of my causal body series, which are on my website. Now, if you would like some personal one-on-one attention for you to get some answers, to find out what to do, okay, because what you do is do it by being who you are. You're not going to be able to do some things in the old human way. You just won't, okay? You just really, it's not working for a lot of people anymore, including me. I've already been through it, which is why, ta-da, I have several go-to things to assist you. But if you would like a one-on-one with me, I'm available for spirit chat. This can be for any questions you have, which could be, you know, maybe you're doing fairly well, but you need some clarity or you need discernment on timing, and we go through that. I have 2 reconnective sessions. One is for the causal body, one is for the hearts. And yes, there are things that happen in those, and there are things that I let you know about. You can also find me at my website. You can see everything else that I have. There's quite a bit of material. There are actually things that are going to happen now that, yes, were talked about last November, okay? How about that 11 gate, okay? The 11 gate started before the 11th. It's still continuing for a lot of you, okay? Because the 11 gate is your opportunity to leave. But how the leaving looks here at human level can sometimes be very strange, where you scratch your head and you say, I don't get it, okay? If you're not getting it, reach out. Grab a session. There is a calendar that translates the time zones, so I can talk to anybody in any time zone, or I try to accommodate you. at my website, www.twinflamesmerge.com. If you like these videos, please subscribe. And what you're going to find is that the rest of the world might sandpaper you a bit and annoy you. And some of you who are highly empathic or HSPs, you might say, oh, Patricia, that's been my whole life. People are always ruffling my feathers, petting my fur the wrong way, sandpapering me. And look at that. That is 100 grit aluminum. Oh my God, you know, what are we going to do here? Because, and by the way, made in Canada. So what are we going to do when, you know, groups of people are rubbing you the wrong way or feeling, and you're starting to feel that isolation, you feel the drift, friends, family. And for some of you, I get it. And guess what? In the United States, the holiday's coming. What are you going to do about the things that, you know, aren't sitting well with you? Things aren't sitting well in your stomach. Lots of stuff happening. Okay, and the good news is, if this is happening, you're on your way to the physical union. Do not let people talk you out of why you're here. Okay, you came here to be the best you can be. You came here to be in love. And I want to reassure you, you already are in love. Okay? Either one of you are going to be able to recharge batteries and go run off to something. It might seem that way. The mind might think of things that you could do. I'm going to go, and then you go off half-cocked. Okay? And a lot of people do. They're getting encouraged to do the mission. And people are missing out on very lucrative callings of the heart because you're paying attention to what's outside instead of what's inside. That is what I teach. That is what I help people with. And I do have a webinar called Abundance. This one is much more helpful for this time because you see this precedes that one. And there are steps. Okay, you got to learn to walk before you run. You got to learn to walk before you can fly. Okay, so that you can get that running start. You are intended to fly with each other. Some of you are feeling things sprout on you, and it's all valid. But some things are, yes, grinding to a halt. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week. Please remember, you're here to be in love. And love will always find you. Even if you feel lost, what loves you will find you. You'll be found again and again and again. Nobody's ever lost. Nobody's ever truly abandoned. It can feel that way. Sometimes you're releasing that. But you are deeply loved, and it's important to remember that you have lived already. This is not a project. It's not an experiment. It's not a test run. This is for real. This is for real. So have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Hopefully, I'll see you here. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you to everyone who's participated. It's been great getting to know you and know all of your beautiful love stories. Everybody has beautiful love stories. Some people are writing it down, and that's going to be the calling of their heart. That is their lucrative career. So don't discount what your soul is showing you, but let me show you some more about your body. Okay, bye.